To look at the first 7-inch Agnostic Schreinerei put out, and the name is called United Blood.
Yeah.
United
You're
and
smart,
strong,
you know,
with
you
pain.
put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
It means everybody united. No doubt about that. I mean, obviously, a lot of the guys in the band used to play for Agnostic Front. I grew up with Agnostic Front, so we're closely related. But I mean, you see the two bands, it's two different bands. And even the music now, like the Set It Off album, is different from the Agnostic Front stuff. Has a lot of the same, roots, because it's hardcore. Everybody was influenced by Agnostic Front at one point or another. But I mean, it's a different flavor,
To me, Agnostic Front was the hardcore band, from New York. And I think that, I mean, let us put out another record, then, I think we'll always have the people who know where we came from, know our roots. And I think that's where we gain respect initially. But our music and the way it comes across, it is a different band. The times are different. When Agnostic Front started out, the scene was different. There were different problems to deal with than there are now. And the music's changed, I mean, for the most part. There's still the old hardcore feel in our music, probably more than there are in other bands.
Because we try to keep that.
But let's face facts, there's a lot of young kids out there, too, who don't really come from that, and they may not associate or relate to it as well. So, we're a good mixture of both, which I think is good. We'll never lose the old sound. It'll always have our roots will always be there, but we got more of a new flavor also. That Agnostic Front really wasn't a part of and should not be a part of. Agnostic Front had its time. That's it.
The one voice record. It's called Undertow.
I see it every day. Everywhere I look, they say another life has been taken away.
Anyone in the government really doesn't know what the problem is because they don't walk on the street. You know what I mean? I'm not like a gangster type person, but I do walk on the streets in the cities, and I just know, you know, there's certain, you can feel the vibe here and there, you know? I think that right now it's unfortunate, but just to take guns away from everybody is impossible because the real people who are doing the wrong thing with the guns are getting them illegally anyway. Yeah. So what's gonna happen if someone's got a gun who's gonna do something bad, wanna harm me or my family, and then I can't get a gun to defend myself? That's a problem, you know. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna need a gun to defend myself. I don't personally own one now, but there have been many times where I wish I had one.
Depends, you know, in the situation you get caught in, you know, but I know a lot of cases where it's worked against you. Like my brother, perfect example, worked against him, and I know a couple people, you know, that when for stuff they didn't do, and unfortunately, some people, luckily, they get it, you know, they catch it before it's too far gone, but a lot of people, I mean, like you see, some people have done 10 years, 20 years, and later on they find out they never did none. I mean, you ruined somebody's whole life right there. Their life is shot, you know, and that's, yeah, America's justice system is fucked up sometimes, it really is. And then again, sometimes it works for you.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta remember, it's a big country with a lot of people doing a lot of crazy things, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
There's a couple situations where I could think, you know, that it has happened. I mean, that's like people like in jail, and also people living in like messed up area. Well, a lot of people can relate to it. It's basically a song about, you know, I know a lot of situations where people thought they were good friends till the end, kill for each other, die for each other, and then one guy says something, the other guy ends up going to jail for life, you know, or it could be in jail, you know. Something happens, the guy, you know, is supposed to be a friend, but he turns his back on him. And I mean, you have that a lot, everywhere. You think like me and him are best friends. You know, even if I think he's doing something that's not so great, I'll talk to him personally one-on-one, but I ain't gonna go tell the whole world what he's done, something like that, because I just don't believe in that.
For me personally, I relate to it where, I mean, you're in a situation where you got people who say that they support you and that they're gonna stick with you to the end. That means to the end. To say something like that, to make a broad generalization or accusation like that, was intent to damage us, to do damage to us by calling us a fascist group. In New York City, you cannot be a white power skinhead and expect to walk the streets. It's ridiculous. You walk down the streets, you automatically grouped in with all sorts of different races of people, this, that, the other thing. The hardcore scene in New York is made up with all different cultures, and there are all sorts of skinheads. There's Chinese skinheads, there's black skinheads, there's white skinheads, all in the New York hardcore scene, right? Everybody gets along, has a good time. I'm sorry, but in Europe, I think people really read into things too much. They get carried away with the political thing, and they miss the whole point. Yeah. We came here, and people used to tell us things like, why is it you hold your guitars like machine guns? Does that reflect your nationalistic, military, pro-America view? You tell me what that sounds like.
I fought Nazi skinheads.
Yeah,
I fought
me
them.
too. I've smashed them in the face.
And I don't even say this and that, whatever. I don't
go home
talk.
and write about him in a fanzine. I saw a Nazi skinhead. Oh my God, he was terrible. I don't like him. You shouldn't either.
I smash.
Forget all that. Like in Europe, you know, everyone unites. Smash racism, right? What does the word smash sound like to you? Smash. Are you guys all talk out here? We come out in Europe and we're on the defense a lot. Because people really come up to us and they point the finger at us. I mean, you know, right up to us sometimes. Point the finger. We're just standing there doing whatever we do, and all of a sudden you get that type of attitude. After a while, it's like, don't come near me.
Well, basically, it's a group of friends. You know, we hang out together. You know, if there's one of us has a problem, we help each other out, just like any group of friends. You know, crew. Some people decide to give themselves a name, some people don't. You know, somebody was writing that DMS was a fascist group or whatever, fascist crew, and blah blah blah, and like we're getting pretty sick of hearing stuff like that because these people don't even know what fascists are. Years ago,
look,
the crew was given a bad name because certain things happened here and there, and you know, basically, you know, they were young, more aggressive. You know, I did things when I was young, but it wasn't like a crew to go out and
it wasn't like DMS. We stand together in the name of beating up homosexuals. There are troublemakers in the world, and you can find a lot of them in New York City, don't get me wrong. But hardcore always had people who were a little, you know, but it was no organization to set out and point the finger at any one group of people. This is ridiculous. This is wrong. It's flat out wrong. MADBALL doesn't condone that type of thing.
Now, somebody gets beat up, and right away you say, oh, why you beat him up, whatever, but maybe there was a reason too. You know, there's always two sides to every story too.